Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Semoskiy Winter, as you can probably expect. Our heroes today are going to be DBerlatto, playing for the Germans, and his opponent today is going to be CaptKaskott, playing for the Soviets. So again, just to mention it, this is from the Sunday Night Fights Season 5 tournament, round of 128, not 138. So let's take a look at our players. The highest ranked player in this matchup is going to be DBerlatto. We've seen him before. Again, he puts us in that interesting situation where DBerlatto is currently ranked on the 300 range for his Soviet play, but he is deciding to actually go with the Germans, which is actually in the 600 range. He's played well over 500 games in Soviet 1v1, and I think he hasn't actually broken the 100 in the Germans. So again, I mean, it's interesting to me that, you know, you select a doctrine or a faction that you're not as proficient with, I guess you could say, for a tournament. But like I said, that is up to the player, and I guess at that point in time, DBerlatto felt more comfortable with his German. So anyways, CaptKaskott is well nowhere near that. Doesn't look like he plays that much, so unfortunately this means it's probably going to be an easy win for DBerlatto, but well, who knows? Like I said, upsets always happen, and we might get surprised. As far as the seeding goes, in the tournament, DBerlatto 35, and Kaskott is 94. So enough of that, back to the game. Now, DBerlatto, if you noticed while I was going in the intro, looks like it actually took a while. It took about, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds at the start of the game before he actually did something, so falling a little bit behind. He did build himself his tier 1, and from tier 1 got himself a Grenadier squad and an MG42, followed up by a second Grenadier. Looks like the MG42 is heading to the south, while the Grents are heading into the center. For CaptKaskott, we see no tech like you would expect. He's just simply getting conscripts. Probably going to go 3 conscripts into Molotovs, as, you know, one usually does. Also, CaptKaskott has selected his doctrine, and that is the shock rifle frontline tactics. So that probably means he has his strategy in mind that he's going to follow, considering that, again, that doctrine doesn't give you anything for 0 points, so it doesn't affect the game at this stage. So, Grens and conscripts engaging over here near the north in fuel. The Grens do set themselves up in heavy cover, but the conscripts now have Molotov, toss it right on top of that Grand squad, instantly burning one of them. They do have to backpedal and are going to get themselves into that house to delay, and since the conscripts just tossed the Molotov, it'll take a while before they can toss another one. There is, however, a second conscript squad over at the victory point, which could potentially throw another Molotov, so that Grand squad needs to be a little bit careful. MG42 does get set up in the fuel point for DBerlatto, so he wants to control that point at all costs, and probably going to be taking rather quick for something else. 3 Grants now out for DBerlatto. We see another Grand squad up north moving for the fuel. Engagement still in the center. Another Molotov going to be tossed by those conscripts. The Grants simply jump out of the house. A Molotov continues to fly and lands in the house, and the Grants go along their merry way. Conscripts in the center, a little bit flabbergasted, don't actually know exactly what to do. They were expecting to continue to fight, but there is nobody nearby to fight. The other conscript squad did go down to 2 men while fighting, so ended up having to retreat, and CaptKaskott is already going for tech, and he's getting himself tier 2, so very fast teching there. And obviously he's going to stop at tier 2, he's not going to go any further, but yeah, so only 3 conscripts into Molotovs into tier 2, so like I said, he selected his doctrine, so he obviously has something in mind, and probably one can assume he's going to be going for a Maxim machine gun. Usually what you see at this stage of the game for tier 2. So 2 Grand squads pushing into the center. They're running into that conscript squad. They got stuck in the middle. Down goes one of those conscripts. They do run around and jump over the wall, get themselves into heavy cover, although that heavy cover isn't being utilized against one of the Grenadier squad. MG42 in the house does open up against the conscript squad over here. Molotov does fly into the house, so it will start burning that MG42, but the conscripts are going to take a lot of damage. Now down to 3 men, continue to get fired upon, and they do end up having to retreat. Grenadiers up north are still fighting against that conscript squad, haven't actually managed to kill any additional units, have done some health damage, but you know, they're fine. MG42 in the house actually ends up burning alive, so the weapon is now actually lost to the battlefield. An unfortunate loss there for DBerlatto. Would have benefited a little bit from jumping out of the house. Grand Squad down, Conscript Squad down here, still getting mauled by those Grens. One of the Grens actually gets killed. Molotov is going to be tossed, and probably a retreat after that. There he goes. And the Grens neatly dodged that without any additional losses. And actually, one of those conscripts ends up getting shot at the retreat, but one more guy just slides its way back home with those roller skates that are standard issue in the Soviet Army. So anyways, conscripts in the center. We still see nothing for CaptKaskott, which is quite interesting. He is building a fuel cache. So, interesting. Not exactly sure what he's planning. I mean, he did build Tier 2, but hasn't gotten anything from there just yet. So, we'll see if that comes into play. For DBerlatto, he did get himself Tier 2 and is building a Panzer Grenadier squad to start it off and has a half-track already queued up. Start of the map, we see conscripts getting engaged by 2 Gren squads and Pioneers right on top of them, just messing around and shooting them with their SMGs. So that conscript is going to lose, probably going to throw a Molotov at something. Yep, tosses it at the Grenadier squad. Grenadier loses 1 more man, but the guys continue to move and get themselves out of the fire. 3-man Gren squad decides to push on forward while the 2-man one jumps behind that fence and puts themselves into some decent cover. Conscripts continue to hold their ground, essentially. They are down to 3 men, 3-on-3 against Grenadiers. They're always going to lose that fight. And with Pios in the house, just adding additional insult to injury, they're going to lose that fight quite handily. Up in the north, we see a 3-man Gren squad going to get assaulted by conscripts. One of the conscripts falls instantly to the ground once seeing the Grenadiers. And the half-track plus the Panzer Grenadiers are now on the field. Panzer Grenadiers barely heading into the center. The half-track catching up very quickly behind it. And that is going to give DBerlatto an awesome punch. Maxim machine gun now on the field for Kaskott, so he did finally get himself something from Tier 2, but no rally point from the Tier 2 building means that the Maxim machine gun is currently back at base, not being useful at all. So always remember, guys, use those rally points. Every building has one. At least send it to the front of your base. I mean, you don't have to send it all the way across the map, but, you know, at least have the units out there where they can do something. So Panzer Grenadiers running into the conscripts, mauling them viciously out of the street. Down to 3 men, they continue to push forward, and they stop and turn around, shoot more. The conscripts apparently wanted to throw a Molotov, but they aren't able to do so, and they try to run away, but they end up dying. And unfortunately, the Maxim machine gun was not set up nearby to help them out, which could have potentially saved their life if it was, you know, a little bit further forward. So the conscripts up north did they actually kill the squad, or just to force a retreat? We do have a 3-man Gren squad over here, so I think they just forced the retreat and ended up capturing the point. We see the half-track going with its flamethrowers already upgraded up to the north, and DBerlatto is going to go to town on those conscripts. I am not sure if CaptKaskott has nades, 18 nades that is, and we shall find out rather soon. The conscripts are trying to hold their ground, capturing territory. The half-track turns around, trying to potentially run away, but it says, you know what, I'm just going to hold ground and burn you alive with both my flamethrowers at the same time. The conscripts Ura forward, maybe trying to feign, you know, bluff their way out of this one. But considering that they have no 18-8s to toss, they have to run away. I mean, maybe they did have 18-8s, but he doesn't have the munitions for it. And the conscripts get burned alive on the retreat. So not going very well for Kaskott. DBerlatto in a very commanding position. Has 2 Panzer Grenadier squads now on the field, which he can use very safely to kill everything that CaptKaskott has. Conscript squad moving up to the north for some reason. There's still the half-track there, currently getting a little bit repairs with the Pios. Maybe trying to throw an 18-8 at it, but that 18-8 will not accomplish much, but damage the engine a little bit. The conscripts do end up retreating. They will have to run through a little bit of flame, and there is a Grenadier squad nearby, but I don't think they're going to be able to catch them, and that conscript squad will make it out alive. So CaptKaskott getting himself an AT gun from his Tier 2, since he already has it, and that will allow him to potentially counter that half-track, or at least keep it at bay, but yeah. CaptKaskott not having an easy time, and DBerlatto, well, having the time of his life. Mortar also built for DBerlatto from his Tier 1, just adding more onto his units. We'll basically start bombarding CaptKaskott's base for the most part. Rifle nade going down on the Maxim machine gun from a flanking Grenadier squad. Nails it, killing 3 of them, forcing it to back off. It'll probably back off over here to the heavy cover, or light cover, and set up in an angle where it can shoot at the Grenadiers. Grenadiers move forward. They do take a burst from the Maxim machine gun, but they do not end up getting suppressed. There they go. Second burst does end up suppressing them. They're trying to crawl out of its range. Can it do so? They do, and they have the half-track nearby reinforcing them, so they're fine. AT gun sets up right in the front of the base, but CaptKaskott has nothing to push out with. He does have that doctrine, which gives him shock troops, which could help him out to push out, but he's in a very, 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 very tough spot. So here he goes. He sets up the AT gun, and the conscripts continue to push forward. LMGs on the Grens are getting suppressed by the Maxim machine gun, so at least a very good support right there. Nasty shot there by the AT gun, actually nails one of those Grenadiers. And the Grenadiers are forced to retreat. Second Grunt Squad is over here on the right-hand side. Does not have an LMG, however, but is still capable of shooting at these conscripts. Conscripts did get a better NC2. They're going to throw a Molotov at the Grens. Nails one of them a little bit, but they end up walking out of the flame. Panther Grenadiers nearby, moving in to start killing infantry if they can. And on the southern side, we have the Panther Grenadiers just capturing territory. Rifle nade going down on the conscript squad, nailing it down to one man. Can he make it out alive? He does retreat, so he's going to make it out alive just fine. More shots landing on the Maxim machine gun, and that is from the mortar. That is very forward and, well, very easy to do so because there's, well, essentially a pin going down on CaptKaskott's base. AT gun taking some shots as much as it can on the infantry, but not managing to hit anything. Panzer Grenadiers getting a little cold, decide to jump into the house, have a little peek. One of them is going to keep an eye out on the point, you know, with its gun there, but the rest of them are just going to relax for a little while. Down south, we see Panzer Grenadiers actually getting quite damaged by that combat engineer, but they do end up eventually killing them. And, oh, down to one man. He's sitting in the flames. Oh, no. An unfortunate loss there for DBerlatto. He got a little bit greedy there and ended up losing an entire Panzer Grenadier squad. So, nice pickup there for CaptKaskott. he must be feeling pretty good of that move. It was all planned, right? So, Maxim machine gun going to get recruited by the conscripts. Conscripts going to have to get reinforced. The AT gun using the cloak ability that it gains from the doctrine, which we rarely see the cloak ability being utilized, but, you know, helped them out a little bit in that situation, I suppose. One thing to keep in mind, and a thing that you can do, is attack ground in this area. And the shots, most of the times, are actually going to fly a little bit further than the range of the AT gun, so you could potentially collapse the house if you needed to. Which in this situation wouldn't hurt CaptKaskott, considering that he's essentially pinned down in his base. But the mortar is still shooting at the AT gun, which means that the AT gun will be decrewed. And CaptKaskott doesn't really have much that he can do. He did build himself tier 3, and could get himself a T-70 rather soon, but considering that DBerlatto is already up to tier 3, I mean, I'm assuming he's probably going to get himself a, well, he's getting a Panzer IV. I would prefer a Flak Panzer in this dominant situation, but I guess, yeah, like I said, it's a safe bet, which is fine. So, shock troops did get called into the field by CaptKaskott, but unfortunately, shock troops have nothing they can really do against a half-track. Obviously, they do some damage with their SMGs, because it is a light vehicle, but half-track can pretty much run around, get on top of them, use its flamethrowers, and kill them off. Shock troops do end up wanting to retreat. They're running through Panzer Grenadiers, so they are going to die. I doubt they're going to get alive, and there they go, down one shock troops and a lot of investment. So T-70 does get produced for CaptKaskott, which is pretty much the only thing he could do at this point, but with the Panzer IV coming onto the field, that T-70 is royally boned. And the AT gun does get decrewed. Wait, there's two AT guns? I mean, there's that guy over there on the street running away, which is why we see a one-man AT gun, but I don't see a second one. So probably what happened here is that the AT gun got mortared, got decrewed, and the conscript recruited again. So it's the same one, but the one man that is still retreating is a little bit glitched, so it looks like CaptKaskott has two AT guns. That's probably what happened. So T-70 in the front of the base goes out, gets Fausted apparently. So it has a damaged engine. The Panzer Grenadiers might be getting an upgrade, although no, they don't actually get the upgrade, because they're not in a connected sector apparently. And the T-70 is trying to chase him down, but with a damaged engine, it's not able to keep up apparently. Did go through the snow, but the Panzer IV is now on the field right behind the T-70. So CaptKaskott's T70 is boned. Actually, the Panzer IV missed them. Well, it wasn't even moving. Come on, man. Takes a shot, takes out the main gun. T70 still moving around, desperately trying to get out of this line of sight, but there it goes, out of control. And it'll probably get shot again before it crashes into anything. Yeah. Destroyed his engine, still out of control. That T70 just doesn't want to die. But I mean, it's dead, so there it goes, finally gets killed out. So the AT gun does set up in a nice angle, getting a shot off on that Panzer IV. Panzer IV down to about half health. But, I mean, it's pretty much all that CaptKaskott has. And yeah, his AT gun guy did finally actually run out of the map, and we no longer see 2 AT guns in the list. So conscript push forward for CaptKaskott, maybe trying to get an 18-8 off on the Panzer IV. And I guess that's really the only thing he could do. 18-8 does go off, gets a crit on the engine. The AT gun could set up to shoot at it and kill it off. But with everything that is currently on the field for DBerlatto, he can very easily get right on top of that AT gun, and he actually sends his half-track behind enemy lines. The AT gun notices it and sets up to shoot at it, but with the Panzer Grenadiers falling up on it and the Maxim machine gun setting up in a different angle, gets cleared out, and the half-track is now running into the base of CaptKaskott without any threats. The Panzer IV is getting repaired by those PIO, second PIO moving into repair, so it'll get, you know, back to full strength and with a fully operational engine in a matter of time, but the Maxim machine gun is just getting harassed, getting completely taken out. Conscripts do URA forward, trying to get an 18-8 off. Veteran C2 now on the half-track. At Veteran C2, it reduces the damage that it takes, so even though it will get a damaged engine, it's not going to take that much damage. And it is going to move out of the base because, well, DBerlatto doesn't want to risk it all. But he's fine. I mean, we can see that he's going to be fine. Another AT gun does get produced for CaptKaskott. He has the option of recrewing the other one out front, although, you know, there's stuff nearby that will not allow him, but it is nearby to his base, so it's a possibility. But there's really no coming out of this one. DBerlatto has pretty much triple captain for the entire game. He's sitting comfortably at 452 points, while CaptKaskott is now less than 80 points. Well, less than 100, now currently at 81, what I'm trying to say. DBerlatto selecting his doctrine at this point, and that is the Festum Armor Doctrine, which gives his Panzer IV smoke, so I suppose that's probably why he got it. But he could also build a Pack 43. He builds a Pack 43 like right in front of the base or something. He's going to start sieging, sieging the base. That would be kind of ridiculous, but we'll see if we'll see if that's what he does. How much does it cost here? 480 map power. So he doesn't have the map power, anywhere near the map power to do that, so maybe not, but it's an option. So anyways, half-track moving around now with Veteran C2 fully repaired. He's going to try to catch those shock troops that are moving for the victory point, so at least CaptKaskott is going on the desperation play, the Hail Mary, to try to stop that bleed, because he knows he's going to lose. He doesn't send anything to the north, however, he's sending the conscripts up to the front, and the Maxim machine gun is still there. The Panzer IV does move up and start taking some shots. AT gun does get recruit, gonna get turned around. There's the second AT gun, although it's a little bit further back, not able to get in range of that Panzer IV. Needs to move up further. We see a bundle nade going down from the Panzer Grenadiers. Doesn't manage to clear out the members of the AT gun. And CaptKaskott might actually get a kill on the Panzer IV. No, it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to do so. Panzer Grenadiers push forward, decrew that AT gun. The second AT gun moves up way too forward. Okay, well, I guess, yeah, that's it. I don't know exactly what it was trying to do. I mean, over here on the other side of the river would have been a better solution, but whatever. So, AT gun gets decrewed. Nothing left on the field for CaptKaskott, down to 15 points. He has a shock troop and a conscript squad. The shock troop over here is getting retreated. And he calls in another shock troop just to, you know, keep units on the field. But the Panzer IV is now in his base with no AT guns to do anything against it. Takes a nasty shot there into the conscript. Actually ends up killing some of the medics. I actually haven't checked. Do the medics, like, get replaced by the HQ? I would assume they do, kind of like medics back in Vico, that that even you snipe them, you know, they'll eventually get produced again. But I don't know. So anyways, Panzer Force in the base, but out of victory points, and CaptKaskott ends up losing the game. So yeah, very easy win there for DBerlatto. Was expected once I saw the ranks, but well, unfortunately, you can't have a good game every time, right? So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.